RIP, Chris.
Welcome back.
I was saying RIP.
Oh, who this
Sad
time?
day.
Who?
The best of album.
Oh, yeah, you were talking about this before.
The
Explain.
best of. The best of. Doesn't exist anymore.
No, it doesn't,
The
does
greatest,
it?
the greatest hits album is no longer a thing.
It's crazy.
Spotify, yeah. Yeah, it's playlists now. You
So,
can create your
what do you explain to the viewers what you're talking about and where you're getting this from?
well, Spotify have said recently that their relevance is now only for albums for only the really true fans. This is for the artists. Only the really true fans want an album, which is suggesting that you may as well go out and buy the physical copy.
Mm-hmm.
Because the best of, which was for the casual fans, see, casual fans would go and buy a best of. I don't want to buy an album by this band, but I will buy the greatest hits album, or I will buy that album because I like the singles. The casual fans, and they always sold really, really, really well. But how many artists from the 21st century, which is 20 years old now, have released a best of album? And the answer is none. They don't
Not
anymore.
many. Not many.
No.
And we've touched on this before too, haven't we? We touched on it before when you said a lot of bands don't do it anyway.
Not a lot of bands. A lot of bands actually really relied on the greatest hits album because the greatest hits album was kind of this. It's a contractual obligation for some.
Yeah.
You know, they bring out the greatest hits. It's also something I remember. REM felt like they were losing relevance at one point, and Bono said to Michael Stipe, "Release the greatest hits record." That's what we did. When we released a dud album and we thought we were losing steam, release the greatest hits record. And REM did just that. You know, they put on a new song and then just released the greatest hits. They've all done it. They've all created this greatest hits album. These are greatest hits albums. And yet, now they don't have to do it anymore.
No, that's right.
It's a Spotify playlist.
But you mentioned before too, though, the bigger bands, the greater bands like Iron Maiden and those guys, they bring out live albums, but they don't really bring out best ofs. Metallica don't bring out best ofs, and it keeps their older albums in circulation. You know.
Yeah, well, AC/DC famously don't do it.
Right.
Malcolm Young always said, while he was alive, AC/DC will never release a greatest hits album, and well, he's no longer with us, but they still haven't jumped out and released that greatest hits album at all because Malcolm said it always would affect their album sales of their back catalogue.
Yeah.
And the two bands that had the best back catalogue sales were AC/DC and Metallica.
Yeah,
if you work in an old-fashioned record store, you were always selling those two artists back catalogue too. But you don't have to buy the back catalogue now when you've got Spotify and Apple Music and all that.
Yeah,
so you don't have to buy the greatest hits album. I think two of the biggest selling greatest hits albums of all time are Billy Joel's Greatest Hits, which we won't talk about, and Bob Marley's one, Legend, sold truckloads of copies.
All right.
And there's still Fleetwood Mac, I think, still sells. I think the Fleetwood Mac best of is still one of the. Every year it's in the Australian charts.
Oh wow.
Every year, the greatest hits. Actually, my brother did all the research on that particular topic. I was just intrigued by it. I never thought of it. It never had occurred to me that I was never one to really buy best ofs, but the fact that they don't really exist. He did research and he looked back through Amazon at release dates, and he said nothing from all bands from last century or country artists.
All right, there you go.
And I have a thing about country artists, why they would still be releasing greatest hits. A lot of their audience is a little older.
Yeah. You follow the pattern of who buys your albums.
Yeah. Their audience is a little older still, so they buy greatest hits CDs and stuff like that. Fleetwood Mac's audience is older. They're going to buy their Fleetwood Mac CDs and things like best ofs and the Eagles and all that sort of stuff. But young people from the last 20 years and artists from the last 20 years, you're not going to get many best in the last 10 years. I think they were still coming out before 2010, but geez, in the last 10 years, There haven't been many greatest hits albums, have there? I mean, when you think about it, no.
No, you know? I can't think of any.
No, I can't think of any. I haven't bought it. Well, I don't bought any. And yeah, I suppose if I go on to Spotify, it's kind of like, oh, well, all those songs are there.
Yeah, true. Yeah, let's do some back to the beginning. Let's go to welcome back to the Music Bar podcast.
Oh, sorry.
Episode 11, season 2.
Oh, sorry, Chris.
No, that's all right. It's all good. It's all good. Just I
just
wanted to explain to someone who's watching, people are watching now. You might see in my background a little penguin sitting there. My son was watching a little bit earlier when I was setting up, and he wanted me to put him in the background. His name's Tony, and he wants to see him on the big screen when we go live. So I put him there as a favour to my son.
I've got my couch. I have my couch.
But I've also got a new little friend to come along with us now too.
Who's that?
Come over here.
No, you got it, did you?
I got my little Eddie. He finally arrived.
You got your little Eddie.
So he'll be standing up here with little
James.
Little James. He finally arrived. So yeah, I grabbed him. So Eddie Van Halen, hence why I'm wearing Eruption today.
Oh wow. Wow. Eddie, because I'm waiting for my Frank Zappa one to come in May.
I haven't got it yet. Oh, that's a long time.
No, it's not coming till May, I don't think. So yeah, but Eddie one's cool.
Yeah, it is. He's on the stand and everything. Jumping up, doing
I know, doing the Eddie, that thing that made him break his hips.
Yeah.
Because he used to do that all the time. Did he end up having to have hip replacements because he kept doing that?
Yeah, he did. That's right. But yeah, a bit of a house looking after things there. So yeah, a few introductions. Cool. It's talking about vinyl though before you as well. And Jack White was talking the other day. He did a quick minute ad trying to get the 3 major record labels to start printing vinyl again because they're outselling CDs. They're going crazy. And he actually came out just recently with a little ad saying, or pleading to these major 3, I think it's Universal, Sony, and Warner, pleading with them to go and start their own vinyl pressings again because they're just outselling everything.
It would be nice. It'd be nice because vinyl's so damn expensive now.
It is. It is very expensive.
You know, a new release vinyl is $80 in the store.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if they were back down to under 30.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Yeah.
And I'd probably get back into buying them again if they were under $30.
Yeah. Well, I buy a few here and there. I've got a few on my shelf here, but they're all kind of limited edition things that I know disappear over time. I'll buy the other ones down the track when they come into sale, but I won't buy them unless it's a limited edition kind of run because you will miss out.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, it is what it is.
So,
you want to discuss? Sorry, go ahead.
So Jack White wants to basically get them to mass produce the vinyl again instead of just these smaller copies, smaller amounts. It's like a niche market. He's pleading with them to say, hey, this is a way to resurrect the music business, so to speak, is bring vinyl back.
Yep.
Bring it back. People will buy it.
He mentioned in the little clip too that he actually owns his own record vinyl printing press, as does Metallica. Yes. So he's now pleading for the guys to go and start doing that again, not just himself and not just the smaller fellas. Like Metallica do it, but they do it for their own music, you know what I mean? And I'm not sure what Jack White does with his printing. It could be his own stuff as well.
His is Third Man Records, isn't it?
I'm not 100% sure.
I think it's Third Man Records. They do a lot of boutique pressings and stuff like that. See, he's recently obtained this unreleased Prince album called Camille.
Oh, okay.
Prince recorded this album called Camille back in 1986. You know, he did it as a female artist called Camille and then never released it. It's always one of those legendary unreleased Prince things. And he's negotiated with Prince's estate to release that on vinyl. Okay. So, you know, we've talked about Prince's estate before, how he never left a will and they're just releasing stuff. Yeah. So I hope, I believe Jack White's intentions would always be honorable to the music.
Oh, for sure.
The artist, you know, I do. And so I think, you know, curious to hear that, how it's packaged and presented and distributed. And I suppose he's looking at the 3 major companies too, as they've got the distribution power as well.
Yeah. For sure.
And he also thinks, I reckon, it might put some prestige back in record sales again.
Hope so.
It might make record sales a thing again. So, yeah, look, he's only one voice at the moment. He's got to get a few others. And, yeah, but he's only one voice. You know, hey, look, see if Neil Young gets on board.
That's funny. Now, after last week's topic of biopics, you wanted to say something this week about someone new. But before you do, I'm going to introduce them for you.
Okay.
I'll see if you can guess who it is.
Right. Is that Bono?
Yes. So, Bono, what's going on with you?
Where's Chris? What have you done with Chris?
What do you want to talk about you two for?
Oh, because after we had our discussion last week about movies and music and artists that we like and how good some biopics are and how average some of them are, and they're all just cashing in on the success of Bohemian Rhapsody. They're all jumping on board and trying to get a music biopic made. You two have joined the group, and you've been privy to some of my comments of these news on Facebook where I've just gone, stop, please stop, just don't, just no.
But who's doing it? JJ Abrams, isn't it?
Oh yeah, which is that's enough to make me sort of cringe a little bit. It's gonna be a lot of lens flare in that. It's gonna lots of anyway. There's a couple of things about that. I mean, one, I'm just going to get off my chest now. If you think Bono's an insufferable person now, imagine what a teenage Bono would have been like. This is the guy who said to Joy Division after Ian Curtis died, "Don't worry, I'll help carry on Ian Curtis's tradition. You can rely on me." He said that to the remaining members of Joy Division after Ian Curtis died. It's like, nah.
That's funny.
But can you imagine? And look, the other thing that got me was the script is being written by Anthony McCartan. Now, I know that probably doesn't mean a lot to others. He's been nominated for Oscars. He does biopics generally as a rule. He wrote the screenplay for Bohemian Rhapsody, and I have loads of problems with that one because
that's an episode of its own.
That's an episode of its own. I mean, if you really look back on Bohemian Rhapsody, it's Rami Malek's performance that you really like, but it's choppily edited, and I just find the screenplay's full of cliches, and it's cheesy. There's so many cheesy moments in Bohemian Rhapsody, and he wrote The Theory of Everything, which was about Stephen Hawking,
right?
And if you watch that, that is so cheesy. There's some moments in that screenplay that are just like, oh, really? You guys, you wrote that, and then the director said, let's perform that, and the actors acted that. I was a bit kind of, okay. So when I saw he's directing or he's writing this Bono thing, I was like, oh, no. So he's going to be sitting there, and I don't know, Bono going to, is you two going to go, make us look cool, or make us look like the greatest band in the world, or be honest and make us look like a bunch of arseholes? I don't know. All I know is that you got to draw a limit at some of these things. Did we talk about Billy Joel last week, the Billy Joel one that they want to make?
Yeah,
I love this. That's right, I did. Because they're not even going to use Billy Joel's music in that.
No, it's
or
weird.
Anything. So it's just going to be about some dude from Long Island who plays the piano and likes the Beatles and thinks he's a rock and roller. U2 is going to be all about U2, and it's going to be how, like, oh, I don't know. I get the feeling from them that it's going to be how U2 are the saviors of the world almost.
Yeah.
You know, and no, don't make this.
No.
And if they do make this, don't watch this, you know. Maybe we've got to blame the dirt. Maybe we've got to blame Nicky Six.
Yeah. I don't mind them when they got people who are like not around anymore, like the Jimi Hendrix one and things like that. I think are really interesting.
Did you see the one, Jimmy All Is By My Side?
No, I haven't watched it, no.
It's not very good.
No, that's with Andre 2000s?
Yeah.
I haven't watched it.
Yeah. No.
But I understand it when someone's passed away, why they would probably do it. But they're all alive at U2. What's the point, you know? Yeah, it's weird.
Oh, yeah, and they're all going to sit there and watch it, and they're all going to go, well, yes, that was very good, or I don't like it. And then one of them's probably going to go, like Adam Clayton's going to go, oh, I didn't like the way you depicted me. Shut up, Adam, you're just the bass player. You know what I mean? Isn't it all about Bono? Did you just make this show about Bono?
Yeah, and the Edge.
Somewhere, I mean, I'll give it to U2. It's been the same four in the band since the beginning.
Pretty rare.
Really are. Is that rare?
Yep.
I think there's only one band still going with all the original members, and that's Aerosmith. And they can barely stand each other.
Yeah.
They did have a split where members left, but they all came back, and it's the original fivesome. Still, I know I've heard that they have said that the secret to U2's the fact that they're all together is that they split everything evenly 5 ways. So that's including their manager, Paul McGuinness. They split everything 5 ways. So U2 that's what keeps it together, because it's money. I reckon it comes down to money half the time when bands break up. It's like, because they do these contracts where, it might say, oh, all 5 of them write a song, but then you look at the percentages, and it's like someone's probably only on 2%. Someone, because they write the lyrics, it's like, what did I hear with live with Ed Kowalczyk? Like singer's bonus. He gets a singer's bonus. I mean, these are the things, and these things just split bands up.
Yeah,
and it does. It comes down to money. Some band member. I remember reading about Cold Chisel. One of the reasons they did break up was money. They were they were the biggest band in the country, and Jimmy Barnes, who wasn't very good with his money, asked for an advance from the management for something in the vicinity of about, I'm going to say $100,000. And they had a thing in their contract that if one person got money, all 5 of them got money. And when the management said, we can't give all of you $100,000 each, they probably went, what are we doing?
Yeah.
We've been working all this time and we haven't got any money. So, it's money that breaks up most bands. But, look, if U2 aren't rich enough, this will just make them richer. It's another thing to keep them relevant, I suppose, in this world. In the early part of the 21st century, you saw that most of the artists were doing reality TV shows. Especially the ones from LA. Well, Ozzy Osbourne started, and then it was all those rock stars were all doing reality TV shows. Now
Tommy Lee did one.
Shows made. Sorry?
Tommy Lee did one.
He did that one. Brett Michaels from Poison, Rock of Love.
Yep.
In Excess did In Excess Rockstar.
Supernova. That was trying to find a singer for the band with Jason Newsted and Dave Navarro.
That's the one. Yep, they were trying to do that one as well.
Supernova.
So there's been and now it's gone this scripted TV shows now. They're clearly, Pam and Tommy was clearly popular. The fact that U2 are involved and then live giving their music, look, no, I can't. And I was talking to a friend of mine the other night, and we were talking about U2. And this guy's Irish. He's an Irish Catholic, and we grew up loving U2. And he said, I used to love U2. I hate them now.
No, really?
I just can't stand them. And he said, I just think they're just a product now. And all they're doing is just pushing a product.
Yeah.
He said, and I was like, well, they haven't released a decent song in nearly 20 years. And they put on a good show, but he's probably right in a way. But they're all product, Tool even saying that in a song, everything is a product begging for your dollar.
Yeah.
And yes, it is, I suppose. And I'm not saying U2 sold out, but I think he just felt now, he no longer felt that U2 made him feel something. All he felt was that U2 were just after the money in his wallet to keep them going, so to speak.
Yeah.
So that's my rant on U2.
Fair enough.
Just don't let it get. It's just rumors at the moment. Let's keep it at the rumors stage, okay? You have trouble with casting. Leave it at that. No shortage. Actors will be ringing up their agents. Can I play Bono? Can I play Bono?
Let's talk about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction nominees.
Oh, well.
So, do you know any offhand? Many? I know Dolly Parton said she pulled her name out, but they're not going to, are they? They're going to keep her in.
They're going to keep her in, and she'll probably get in because of that. Because I think I said to you just briefly, but to go into detail, her contribution to popular music cannot be underestimated.
That's right.
she may be sort of still categorized as a country artist, and she really does. She sees herself obviously as a country artist, but she has crossed over into pop music so many times. 9 to 5 was a huge hit. You know what I mean? She wrote "I Will Always Love You." Her version, and then she gave it to Whitney Houston, who made it the biggest selling single of all time. I mean,
true that.
And her contribution to popular music, she's written over 3,000 songs. Jolene is still covered to this day by so many other artists.
Yeah, Miley Cyrus did it recently, which was a really good version of it.
She did a great version of it too, didn't she? I think I said to you a few podcasts ago, Miley could make a career now out of interpreting other people's songs.
Yeah, well, Nothing Else Matters, a pretty good version. That was amazing.
And her Heart of Glass version's fantastic.
Yeah, that's amazing. But I'll just read through the nominations so people at home can know. So there's for this year, I don't know if people know or not, but to be eligible for a nomination, you have to have written and released your first commercial record 25 years ago.
That's the.
And so the first people are Beck, Pat Benatar, who was around before that, Kate Bush, been around before that, Devo, Duran Duran, all before 25 years. This is the first year Eminem can be put in, and he's actually nominated, which is quite it's good. But there's bands I think should be in there before Eminem, but we'll see how we go with that. Rhythmics.
Okay.
Judas Priest. Has Judas Priest been nominated before?
No.
So never been nominated before they are now.
How have they never been nominated? I'll never know.
Yeah. MC5, New York Dolls, Dolly
Parton. Hang on. Did you just say the MC5 and New York Dolls?
MC5 and another band.
MC5 are not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
No, they're not.
Unbelievable.
And New York Dolls are nominated. Dolly Parton, Rage Against the Machine, Lionel Richie, Carly Simon, A Tribe Called Quest.
So a bit of hip hop creeping in there, yep.
Yeah, and then Dionne Warwick. So they're the ones who are in now.
Okay, that list. That's the list where you just sit there and say, how are none of them in there? Yeah. There's a few here and there, but Lionel Richie with the Commodores even.
Yeah.
You don't even have to think about his solo stuff, but with the Commodores.
Yep.
Machine Gun is one of the funkiest tracks ever.
Pat Benatar deserves to be there.
Pat Benatar certainly does. And if you read her autobiography, you read Pat Benatar's autobiography, she'll tell you that she's way more influential than anyone gives her credit for. Says that a lot through her book. It's a good read, though. Kate Bush.
She wrote that first song of hers when she was 12.
Something like Wuthering Heights. She was 17 when it was released.
Yeah.
I'm
not a huge fan of Devo, but I understand what they did.
How did Devo not? How?
Yeah, I know. And Duran Duran.
This is why I have a problem with the Rock Hall. But then go back. MC5, man. They came out with Kick Out the Jams in 1969 or 60, earlier than that, probably 67. One of the earliest heavy rock songs.
Yep.
Influential like you wouldn't believe. And they're not in. They're one of the early punk influences. And they are not in the Rock Hall of Fame. The New York Dolls influenced so many New York bands, from Kiss to the Ramones. They were like the first lot that walked through New York and said, when New York was a whole, and they were proudly the New York Dolls with their androgynous look and everything.
Yeah.
Johnny Thunders could have, if he had trademarked his look. Look at nearly every artist from Nikki Sixx onwards, Izzy Stradlin, all those guys from LA in the 80s. That was Johnny Thunders' look completely. It's just, why don't they just blow it up and start again?
Backdate everybody.
Just blow it up. And I did have somebody point out to me when I said, "What the hell is Cleveland doing hosting the Rock?" Being the home of the Rock, or what has come out of Cleveland.
Yeah.
A friend of mine so rightly put to me that 9 Inch Nails are from Cleveland, which I love and adore, but that's it. You upset me, Chris, with that list.
Well, I didn't write it, mate. I didn't write it, but
I know you didn't write it.
I'm still surprised Iron Maiden are not on there.
But Judas Priest. How
Yep.
influential is Judas Priest?
And Motorhead? They're not in yet, are they?
I don't think so. But every one of those Nawabum bands, new wave of British heavy metal, they should be in there.
Yeah,
How
exactly.
influential were those acts? Def Leppard are in there, aren't they? I think Def Leppard are in the Rock Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I
think they'd be the only Nawabum band that's in there.
Yeah, I just find the list very. Again, I think it's wrong. I don't think Eminem should be a nomination straight away his first year.
His influence is pretty damn extraordinary, but I know
absolutely. But the first year,
yeah, I know. Well,
bands around longer.
Yeah, considering who is up, and Eminem, and it's just, and other voters going to have a short memory, and they're going to go, well, I don't know who the MC5 is, and I don't care, but I like Eminem, and it's no disrespect to Eminem anyway. But I remember when NWA were up for the Rock Hall and like Ted Nugent said, "Oh, what are they doing in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?" But and I think a lot of people's argument is, well, hip hop and rock and roll, man, that's a pretty that hip hop came out of hardcore punk, and then it kind of joined together at times, often very well.
Yeah,
that those early hip hop artists, I'd definitely be putting them in the Rock Hall of Fame. They were pioneers, and that's the way it goes. But and then when Dolly Parton her own self says, "Well, I've never made a rock and roll record, but I better go and make one."
Yeah,
and I love like Steve Albini's come up and go, I'll make a rock and roll record with Dolly Parton.
Yeah, and I think also Eurythmics, they've done pretty well in their life. I reckon they're pretty good. They
were good in the 80s.
Yeah.
But I think the Eurythmics were just a good pop band. I don't see them as being. I never see the Eurythmics as being a very influential band. I think
probably true.
But I see Duran Duran, even though some people could dismiss them as a pop band for the 80s, I totally see Duran Duran as a band that was completely dismissed when they came out. But you listen to them now, and those songs still are very good. Yeah. And Duran Duran are still making records, and they're still a pretty good band, and they're all great.
I love their song Reflex.
Oh,
what a great song!
Yeah, that's a great song. Yeah. So geez, tell you what, you upset me, Chris. You've upset me now.
Well, someone has to.
Wasn't last season we talked about Rock Hall of Fame, and now you've listened to give me that list, and now I'm gonna break out in hives. I'm sure I'm itchy here. It's just this is not.
Anyway, back to let's do our cool thing before we finish.
Oh, the cool thing for the week.
Yeah.
You go first because I had one, but now I've forgotten it.
Okay, no problem. So, I mentioned this to you during the week. I don't know if you actually listened to them or not, but a band called Ghost.
Oh, please, because I've had friends of mine say to me, "You've never heard Ghost?" And I will say right now, I've never actually heard Ghost.
And that's exactly the same with me. I read an article the other day saying the new album, Impera, has come out this month, and it's taken the world by storm, this article had said. So yes, I was very intrigued by what that said. So I started listening to the new album, and there's a song in there called "Call Me Little Sunshine," which I actually really do like. Their clothing and everything is very strange. He looks like a archbishop, singing this song with a white face and everything. But the song itself is quite good. The new album's pretty good overall. It's not what I expected, but I am actually enjoying it, and I don't really know why yet. But it's been really interesting to listen to. I do like it. Haven't heard anything of their older stuff yet, and I will go back and listen to it. But my cool thing for the week so far is Ghost, the new album Impera. And that one song, Call Me Little Sunshine, is one song I do like on the album straight away. Like, bang, I love this song. Didn't have to grow on me or anything. I just liked it. There's a video clip for it as well on YouTube. Go watch it. But interesting. Very interesting band.
Right, I'll get into it. I have read that album is the biggest selling album in the world at the moment. So
okay, yep.
Yeah, like as you said, it's gone berserk, this new Ghost album.
Yeah.
People are buying it. So interesting. I mean, when we talk about album sales and vinyl sales, it's all relative now. What works, what isn't. It's all relative. Oh, look, my cool thing of the week, and look, it's another album, is the new Placebo album, Never Let Me Go. It's out on March 25th. I had to review it. I've listened to it twice now. I loved it. I've always liked Placebo. I've always thought they were a pretty cool band, but this new album, it's been 9 years between records. And this new album is pretty damn good. I might do a get on it about it, because it's something brand spanking new from an older band who have a greatest hits album out.
One of the last.
Probably one of the last that'll do it. But yeah, no, the new Placebo album, Never Let Me Go. I really, really, really like it. It's really cool. Yeah.
That's good. Good.
Yep.
That's pretty about it, really.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go down on my couch here and lie down after that rock hall. Can we not mention it again till next year or something like that?
Well, until we find out who's inducted.
Yeah, let's find out who's inducted.
These are only in nominations, so it's a bit scary who's going to win. But anyway, we'll see what happens. But
I think I'm coming down with something, Chris. I'm getting all woozy now.
But just those at home and watching. If you are watching this, please subscribe to our channel. We've been stuck on 34 subscribers for a while.
Yeah, subscribe, and ding the bell for notifications. So
we want to get to at least 40 or 50 by the end of the year subscribers.
Oh,
so help us out if you can, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Help us out. Well, we do this for love.
We do. We love the music. We love the fact that vinyl's coming back and all this kind of stuff's happening. So let's just keep it going. And just before you do finish, you did mention last week, where was Belinda? She's postponed her tour in Australia, Belinda Carlisle, until next year. She'll be here next year.
All right, we might be able to get an interview with her. What do you reckon?
I hope so.
You hope so.
Anyway, thank you very much.
Bye,
Talk to you soon, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like, and see you later.